Yeah, I should win just because you had the Timberwolves in the 8th seed.
Vasilevsky's been playing really well, and the Lightning have a great offense.
Yeah, it was a tremendous shot, and I've come to expect it from LeBron, who's become one of the clutchest players in NBA history as of recently.
So I have him going off one night, but I think he's just going to get tired. So that's why the Nets winning in 5.
I would say I wish the best for the Red Sox, but as a Yankees fan, that's really hard for me to do.
The biggest addition to me is Jalen Brunson.
Both teams that beat the Rangers are rebuilding faster than the Rangers.
Why'd you have to name them? Like, seriously. Thanks, man. To me, those top 2 starters are Lucas Gaelito and Lance Flynn.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew. Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more. I definitely think it's going to be a great series, and I'm interested to see how much Kaprizov can impact the game as a rookie.
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground when he finally decides who to throw to?
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and that's all I have to say. He's still a top 5 quarterback in this league, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it.
All I could think of was Dame.
I don't think they will. If they don't have Anthony Davis, I'm saying it right now, if Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
And then I want to talk about the Fernando Tatis extension, because that really surprised me. Because he's so young.
The Hurricanes just have too much. They're probably the most complete team this year, and I anticipate them winning.
You know what this means, Bengals. Take the nice one. Do not let what happened to Andrew Luck happen to Joe Burrow.
Clippers versus the Nets. Who would have thought 5 years ago that the Clippers and Nets would be facing in the finals?
But I have the Sixers versus Jazz.
Crazy. And for the fans at home, for the listeners at home.
Hello, I'm Cy Mendenhall, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our 76th episode, where we will be talking about the MLB Home Run Derby and an All-Star review. And make sure to check out our previous episode where we did an MLB Draft review. We went over our picks and discussed the winner, so make sure to check that out. And then talk about our interview series. Some alumni from that. Landon Bowe just signed with Retifi Crandon, a team in the Czech Republic. So congrats to Landon, and then also congrats to Cy Mendenhall, who is a huge rugby star, as he is one of the attendees for the USA Rugby Camp in Glendale, Colorado. Or actually, I think that's Glendale, Arizona. But it's great to hear about both of them, and we wish them the best of luck on both their journeys. Make sure to check out their interviews, as they are some great interviews. But Austin, let's talk about the MLB All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. I'm going to say, even with the atrocious jerseys, this is probably the best All-Star weekend out of the leagues, because you could argue the NBA, but I say MLB, because of the Home Run Derby has big stars like Shohei Ohtani. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, we've always wanted to see LeBron or Zion or one of the great stars of the NBA in the dunk contest, but we never see it. And while we did miss out on some great power hitters like Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, other guys who can really hit the ball very far, we did see Shohei, who was the attraction of the day and of the week, really. He's a great talent. Not only did he start off the All-Star game pitching, but he also batted first in the lineup. And it was really just impressive to see that. The jerseys, I agree, were horrible, but even despite that, I do agree that this has been the best All-Star game, or I don't know what you would call it. I guess All-Star game, because I know the NFL has a Pro Bowl, same difference. But this is definitely the best one we've had since COVID came back.
Yeah, and the jerseys, I was confused about the colors, but the thing I also didn't understand is, so you have the abbreviation, like Texas, it was TEX, but then you have the logo on top of the words, and it's vertical. Like, why not do horizontal and just pick some different color? Because the colors just seemed off to me. And if they seemed off to me, and I'm not good at fashion, people that are true fashionistas definitely saw something off, in my opinion. What do you think about that logo catastrophe?
Well, I mean, the worst thing about it was the fact that it was over the letters. So if you weren't adept at knowing what the teams were, how are you supposed to know what the letters are? I mean, the abbreviation, if you're going to do it vertical, do it on one side and then have the logo on the other side. So you're just like, oh, I see he's from Texas, but he's also on the AL. So, I mean, it completely ruins what they're trying to do. You're not supposed to cover what you're trying to show. That's not how this works. I don't really understand it, but like I said, besides that, it was a great game. Low scoring, I would say, for an All-Star game, especially if we go back to the NBA, all those games are 150 to 140. And Pro Bowl football can sometimes get high scoring, but I anticipated a higher scoring game than this. Vlad Guerrero won MVP. Congrats to him. And we saw some great performances.
Yeah, and then there's also the hat and batting helmet, but we can move on to the home run derby. It was great having Trey Mancini. We can start with the first round. It was a very tight battle to begin with Trey Mancini versus Matt Olson, where Trey Mancini wins by 24 homers versus 23. They were all upsets in the first round. So what else did you think from the first round that caught your eye?
Yeah, what I would say is that the Joey Gallo versus not Matt Olson, Trevor Story one has a little bit of controversy because both of them swung after it hit zero, but they were in the pitching motion, which should count both, but they only counted the Trevor Story one, and so that's what gave him the difference over Joey Gallo. I think they did it because the hometown kid, they wanted to give Colorado fans something to cheer about, but I think it should have been tied. I think it should have gone into an extra round, and maybe it would have resulted in a different winner. But this was really Pete Alonso's event. There was only a couple people who put up fight. Salvador Perez had an amazing first round, especially in the time allotted to him. He had the second best. I know Juan Soto and Shohei both ended up with more homers, but that's because of the extra tiebreakers that each of them had. Obviously, in the second round, there's a low-scoring battle between Mancini and Trevor Story that ended in 13-12. But like you said, it's a great story. And then he showed out against Pete Alonso in the finals, and there was no way Pete Alonso was not going to win it. What were your thoughts on the night?
Yeah, also, Pete Alonso set a record in the first round with 35 homers, and that's like the third best in any round in the history. And then he's also the third player to win back-to-back home run derbies.
That is,
Because
I'm just going to tell you who it is. It's Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay, yeah.
And do you know the other one?
Griffey. I know. Ken Griffey was the one I knew.
I wanted to save the hard one.
I
wanted to save the hard one.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. It's what I said. Can I give you the year? I'm going to go 86, 87.
No, 13-14. And it was Yoenis Cespedes.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's a name. So the other Met player. But like now he's
another
on the Mets,
Met
player. Wasn't on them. Or was he on the Mets when he was in 13-14?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I know I'll check that right now while you give the rest of your thoughts, but I'm pretty sure he was.
Well, yeah, I just remember Yoenis Cespedes whenever he broke his leg taking care of his horse for the Mets, and he was out for like 2 years.
I was wrong. So in 13, he played with Oakland, and then in 14, he played half the season with Oakland and the other part with Boston. So I think he was on Oakland for both of those. But yes, both of them played for the Mets during some portion of their career.
Yeah, and then also, I believe it counts because even though he had to skip it between 2020, still a great job winning it back to back. But I'm also intrigued, if he's the reigning champ, why is he ranked 5th? Your thoughts?
That is exactly what I was thinking. I think that if you won it the year before, not only should you have to go, like make it a mandatory thing. Oh, you won it last year. Now you have to defend your title. Instead of people will just, you're not going to get hurt hitting homers. I understand pitchers sometimes want to get out of the All-Star game because they have to pitch, and that's really hurtful on your arm. But hitting, it's rare that somebody gets hurt hitting. I think that you should be the number one seed, and you should have to do it again. You should have to try to repeat, or in his case, three-peat. So, yeah, I don't understand why he was fifth. How he was an underdog against anybody kind of baffled me. He was my pick to win it, even though I would have loved to see Shohei win it. Alonso it's too easy for him to hit homers, especially with the person to him who was throwing to him, especially in the final round. All of the balls were right in the middle of the strike zone. If you've seen the strike zone afterwards, that the balls are right in the middle, right for Pete Alonso to just pull and hit very, very far.
Yeah, and he's also, so I believe I read this tweet correctly. He has made 2.05 million playing for the Mets in his 2.5 seasons, and made 2 million from the two derbies that he won, because you win 1 million for each thing. So that's a little nice incentive. Do you have something to say?
Yeah, I read it differently. I saw one that said he only made 1.47, but that may be his contract. Not that one. The other one you may be looking at is his including signing bonus, which
Oh, okay.
I do think is important to acknowledge. So yeah, I think your stats even more impressive because that includes the signing bonus. That's everything he's ever made in the MLB from an MLB team versus him hitting balls very far for fun.
Yeah, it's a good incentive, because I remember Joey Gallo a few years ago was like, "Yeah, I'll definitely play now if I can win $1 million." So, but I think we can move on to the All Star game. I didn't watch it fully. I watched up to the Show Otani interview. I kind of like that aspect. I also loved it when you had Kevin Cash and Dave Roberts talking to each other with the mics during the game. That was really fun. And I like the batter perspective and the fielder perspective, even though when the batters were mic'd up, they didn't do well in the box. Um, I'm pretty sure they were like 0 for 9 on that. But what are your thoughts on that perspective?
It's not that surprising. It's really hard to hit, and when you're hitting, your mind has to be completely on it. And so when you're interviewing someone who's hitting, unless it's a ball right down the middle, you are not going to hit it. These are major league all-star pitchers pitching to you. You don't get a hit while you're talking to somebody else. This isn't T-ball. So I don't think you should be allowed to talk to somebody while they're hitting, or pitching for that matter. But I think it's really fun seeing the interviews while people are in the field making plays and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to concentrate on the ball when it's a fly ball or a ground ball right to you than it is when a 100-mile-hour ball is coming right down the middle, or maybe a ball. I mean, it's just hard to realize what's a ball and a strike while you're also trying to talk to somebody on the mic giving you an interview at the same time. It was fun though. They made it really fun, and I loved watching it.
Yeah, my favorite part of the interview series is, well, there are two parts. When Freddie Freeman and Judge walked, and he's like, "Dang, I'm gonna look really short next to Judge." And then when Vlad Guerrero homered, and you just see Tatis put his glove on his head, and he's like, "Oh wow!" And now that's a good segue to move into the scoring. We'll just go over some key things. Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s home run, which I was just talking about, 468 feet, and the sound of that ball, I was like, oh wow! And so was Tatis. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I bet the balls were juiced, as they always are for the home run derby. They want the ball to go far, and especially in the All Star game. I mean, these aren't about stats. Um, these aren't about low scoring games, even though it was relatively low scoring. That ball was hit far. It seemed further than 468. Uh, it never looked like it was going to land, and in the Colorado atmosphere, it can go much further than it would in other places. But yeah, he had a very impressive game. I believe he went 2 for 4 or 2 for 3, and it definitely was cool seeing him hit the ball that far.
He did have two hits. I'm not sure if it was 2 for 3 or 2 for 4. And then also I did read, they didn't. There's a humidifier at Colorado Stadium. They did not do a humidifier for the balls, or a little room to acclimate the balls to have them travel less during the actual game. They did not do that during the home run derby, so I would assume they didn't do that for the All Star game, which supports your idea of them going really far. But they could have taken some balls from 2017 that they had just lying around and give those to the All Stars?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be that surprised if that was the case. They definitely wanted the ball to go far. I mean, it's an awe factor, especially for those who aren't that interested in baseball or just coming new to the game. They want to see something cool. They want to see something interesting, and homers are really what can get anybody into the game. They want to see the ball fly as far as possible, and that's why they have the home run derby. They don't have a bunt derby. Who can get the most perfect bunt? They don't
That
have
would be fun though.
that would be fun. I'd love to do a single. A bunt derby. That'd be really fun. Who can get the most bunt hits? uh, they don't have like a pitcher's contest where they try to throw it into, when they have those like nine like holes. Have you never seen those? They have like nine holes,
No,
like they're supposed to like. There's top right corner, top middle, top left corner, middle, middle right, middle left. Oh well, there's nine little
never.
holes, and you could do a competition like where the announcer says top right corner, and then the pitcher tries to throw it perfectly into the top right corner. It'd be like the QB showcase in the Pro Bowl where they try to throw it through all the things.
Okay, I know the QB thing. I never saw that as a pitching thing, but you could also have to worry about arm overuse for the pitchers in that sense.
True, true. And then you could also do like a stolen base thing where a pitcher throws and then the catcher tries to throw out the stolen base guy. I think they could probably get some more competitions in there. Maybe just a speed one. Who can run the fastest? Who is the fastest player in the MLB? Maybe like a 40-yard dash, but a 90-yard dash or a 90-foot dash, which is in between the base path. Uh, that'd be pretty fun.
What
Uh,
about dot race in the warning track? Like you have them like get in like little, I don't know, you get the sumo suits and then you just have the fastest player run. It'd be so funny.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff I think they could add to get more people acclimated to the rest of the game besides the home runs. But yeah, it was an entertaining game, and I think it was a success for the MLB.
Yeah, that's something rare in this season. It's something a success. Good job, Manfred. You won't get many of those for the rest of the year. But also, Jared Walsh's catch was amazing when there was a 3-0 count, and that slide was incredible. There's also Judge's catch, and then you both have both catchers for the AL and NL both hit a home run. Zunino hit a home run top of the sixth um, after Rio Muto hit a home run in the bottom of the fifth. So that's a little cool thing. Some home runs. So yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely a success, minus the jerseys, because I didn't see anything wrong with the jerseys in the past. Because you would sell jerseys, it's just they wouldn't wear it during the game. I like seeing the different um, jerseys from all the players.
Yeah, I 100% agree. They didn't have to go and, like I said, cover it with the with the crest of the All Star game. I mean, it was just weird. They could have just made it easier, just doing colors. I mean, you could have your team name on it, but maybe if you play for the Rangers because it's AL, it's blue. So it's a Rangers with blue on it. But even if you're the Athletics, it still says Athletics. Like it's their logo. It's what it says on the front of their jersey. It's just blue because it's the AL. And in the NL, no matter what jersey color it is, it just has your name on it or your what your home jersey looks like, just with a red color behind it. So with the San Francisco like logo on the top left side of the jersey, just like it is normally, except it'd be a red jersey because they're in the NL. So that's some way to do it. I don't know. I'm just kind of blabbering some stuff out, but they definitely could have done something else than what they showed.
Yeah, that actually is a good idea. It'd be very cool. So, Rob Manfred, hope you're listening. There's one problem that you can solve. But that concludes our episode. Next episode, we will be staying in MLB territory and we'll be talking about MLB draft surprising picks. So, all the 20 rounds, we're going to talk about what surprised us. So, be on the lookout for that from us. And then make sure to check out the interviews from Landon Bow, Simon and Hall, and just go through them all. There's a little interview tab on YouTube, so it's easy to find. So thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.